everyone, it's Kaylee from K-Books, and this is my wrap-up post for April. I read quite a lot this month. I read about 14 books. I'm not quite sure how I read that much, but I'm just going to show you the books that I read in April. So the first book that I read this month is Chosen Ones by Tiffany Truitt. This is the first book in the Lost Souls series. I got this for review from Entangled Publishing, and I gave this 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was really good. It's a dystopia book, and it's set in the future where women can't have children. They can get pregnant, but before they give birth, they die. So they have these chosen ones that they've made as humans, but they were made to like protect them and continue the race, but it didn't work out that way, and they like tried to take over, and I really loved it. I thought it was really original. I know some people didn't like it quite as much because a lot of it doesn't get explained at the beginning. The background of the book, it gets explained as you read it, but that didn't really bother me. I really loved it. So that was the first one I read, and I gave it 4 stars. The second book I read this month was Everneath by Brody Ashton. This is the first in the Everneath series, and I gave this 4 stars. This was a buddy read with Ali at Winged Reviews, and I think she gave it 4 stars as well. I really liked it. I know I've heard some people didn't like it. Miss Steve from Bookaholics gave me this copy because she didn't like it, but I really enjoyed it. It's mythological, and it's a retelling of Persephone and Hades. And yeah, I really liked it. It's about Nikki, and she's been down in the Everneath for, I think it's 100 years. She thinks it's 100 years, but in her real life, in the normal world, it's been 6 months, and she got lured there by Cole. And you don't really know why she chose to leave her life and go down with him, because she goes back to the real world, and she only has 6 months in her life before she gets taken back. I thought it was really good, and what I really liked about it, and I know Ali liked it at the same time, is there's you get 2 stories telling at the same time, because you don't really know why she went down into the Everneath, and you find out as you read it. But you have these chapters which tell you that the time is now, and it's what she's doing after she's come back from the Everneath. And some of the chapters, if I can find it, are before, it'll say last year, and it tells you what happened in her life before she went into the Everneath. So you're finding out what had happened in the past that caused her to make that decision, while you're still reading in the present day and how it affected her life. So I really liked that, and I gave it 4 stars. And I'm really looking forward to the second one, which I think is out next year, but I really enjoyed it. The next book I read this month is The Iron King by Julie Kagawa. This is the first book in Iron Fae series, and I gave this 4 stars. I thought it was really good. I think I'm one of the last people to read this series. Everyone seemed to have read it, and I wondered what the fuss was about and decided to read it. I really liked it. I thought it was really original. It's my favourite young adult series about Fae, with Fever being my favourite adult one. But I thought it was really good, and it's about Megan, and she goes in to the land of the Fae to save her brother, and finds out that secrets from her past and what she really is, and it turns out that she's half human, half Fae, half summer Fae. And I really liked it. I thought it was really good, and I'm really glad I read it, and I gave that 4 stars. The next one I read, which is on my Kindle, was Winter's Passage by Julie Kagawa, and it's a novella that comes after book 1, and I thought it was good. I give it 4 stars again, same as The Iron King, and it's just really a short story telling what happened in between the end of the first book and the beginning of the second one. So she's gone with Ash to the Winter Court, and it's their journey between the normal world and the Winter Court and what happens then. The next book I read is The Iron Daughter by Julie Kagawa, which is the second book in the Iron Fae series, and I gave this 5 stars. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was much better than the first book. I really loved it. This was when I really started loving the series, and it's very action packed, and it's when Megan is in the Winter Fae realm and what happens to her there, and I really liked it. I thought it was amazing. It was really good. The next book I read was The Iron Queen by Julie Kagawa, and this is the third book in the Iron Fae series, and I gave this 5 stars again. This is my favourite of the series. I loved it. I really loved it. I thought it was the best one, and it has lots of action, and you never know what's going to happen. There were lots of twists and turns, and I really, really loved it. So yeah, I gave that one 5 stars as well. And then I read Summer's Crossing by Julie Kagawa, which is the novella that goes in between book 3 and 4, and I gave that 4 stars. I tend to not like the novellas as much as the actual novels because I just think that they're not long enough for me to really, really love. So I gave that 4 stars, and it's a short story with Puck and Ash and what happened after Megan had gone into the Iron realm, and it builds up what's going to happen in the 4th book. So it's just a good build up and prepares you for what's going to happen to that. So I gave that one 4 stars. And I also read The Iron Knight by Julie Kagawa, which is the 4th one in the Iron Fae series. I gave this 4 stars. I did like it. I didn't like it as much as the rest. I thought the ending of the 3rd book was a perfect ending. It wasn't a happy ending in terms of the love story, but for everything else it wrapped everything up really well, and I had a really difficult time getting into this book. I thought it was really slow, and it took me about a week and a half to read it, which is really slow for me because usually like the other books, they're the same thickness and I read them in a day. I didn't like it as much. I thought that the series should have ended with book 3, but I am glad I read it, and I did like the wrapping up of the love story and seeing them get together and everything, but I just loved the 3rd one. I didn't really think that the Iron Knight was necessary, but I still enjoyed it, and it's still one of my favourite series involving Fae, so I'm really glad I read the series finally. So I gave that one 4 stars. The next book I read is on my Kindle, if I can just get it to work. And I was just waiting for some of my books to get delivered that I wanted to start straight away. So I had some short stories on my Kindle, so I decided just to read one of those while I was waiting. And I read Look at the Top, Reckoning by Janine Frost. It doesn't have a cover, I'm not sure why, and the writing is tiny. But this is the prequel to the Night Huntress series, and I gave this 3 stars. I liked it, I didn't love it. I've had the first 4 Night Huntress books on my shelf for a while, and I've always been interested in the series and wondering what it's about, but haven't really read it and had no motivation to read it. So I read the prequel. I really liked the prequel. It wasn't amazing, but I really liked getting introduced to Bones that I've heard so much about. And after that, I'm really looking forward to reading the rest of the series. So hopefully I'll read the first one soon, and hopefully I'll love the series. And the next book I read, the one that I'm most excited about, I got this for review from Entangled. And if I can get the cover up. It's Onyx by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I was so excited to read this. I loved it. It was amazing. Obsidian was my favourite book of last year. I thought it was amazing, and it really started off my love of Jennifer's books. So to get Onyx, I actually squealed and started jumping up and down when I got it, and I read it. I read it until about 4 o'clock in the morning, when I literally could not keep my eyes open any longer, and then woke up at 8 and finished it. It was amazing. It was even better than Obsidian, and it follows on the story of Damon and Katie. I'm not going to say anything about it, because pretty much anything I can say about this is going to be a spoiler to someone. Because I know, like Julie from Bookaroo Juice, she doesn't read any of the blurbs for books that she reads, so I don't want to say anything in case she watches it and I spoil anything. But it was amazing, and it was just epic, and I'm so excited that I've read it. Like, I'm still like, oh my god, I can't believe I've read it. It's so amazing, and I can't wait for my new version of Obsidian is on its way. So I need to reread Obsidian when it comes, but I will reread this again. So I was very excited to get Onyx, and it was absolutely amazing. I can't wait for the third one, Opal. Onyx is due out in August, and Opal will be out in December, so I'm really looking forward to finishing the series. The next book I read this month was a reread, and it's Divergent by Veronica Roth. I read this last year and I loved it. It's a dystopian book, and I got the second one for review. So because I read Divergent such a long time ago, I wanted to reread just to remind myself what happened. I forgot how much I loved this book. It's amazing. The first time I read it last year, I read it in one sitting. I couldn't put it down. I thought it wouldn't be the same rereading it, that I wouldn't get quite as hooked, because I know what's going to happen. I got hooked again and read it in a day. I couldn't put it down. It's just amazing. If you love dystopia books and you haven't read this, you have to read it. It's amazing. The Hunger Games is my favourite dystopia series, and I've read it quite a few times, but Divergent really rivals it. It's amazing. I loved it. 5 stars again, even though I've already rated it. And the next book was Insurgent by Veronica Roth. I loved this book. It was absolutely amazing. I couldn't believe I got this for review, and I gave it 5 stars. It's following on from the story of Triss and Foe and what happened after Divergent. I thought this was better than Divergent. I thought it was amazing, and I don't want to say anything because I don't want to spoil it, but it was incredible. There were so many oh my god moments that I just needed someone to talk to about it. It was incredible. So there's 2 more books I read this month, and there were Becoming a Butterfly by Mia Castile. I love Mia. She's amazing. She sent me this for review. I've reviewed all of her books that she's had out so far, and I gave this 4 stars. It was amazing. It's such a heartfelt story, and I really loved it. But the reason I knocked a star off is because I would have liked to see a little bit more romance between the characters in the end. I really loved it. It's got a really good message behind it, and if you like any just romance chick lit books, definitely read Mia's books. They're amazing. So I gave that one 4 stars, and I'm really looking forward to reading the second one. So I can't wait for that. And the last book I read this month was, if I can get it to work, Tempting the Best Man by Jaylin. This is the adult book from Jennifer L. Armentrout, my favourite author, and I read this in one sitting. It was amazing. It's a normal romance book, and it's about Maddie, who's been in love with her brother's best friend for ages, but something happened and now they pretty much hate each other, and they are the best man and maid of honour at her brother's wedding, so they have to put up with each other. I loved it. It's brilliant. It's one of my favourite romance books, and I will just reread it over and over again and chase You will love him. He's amazing. So I really loved it, and it was just so good, and I just want to reread it, and I'm hoping that she'll write the books about Chase's brothers, because you have, I think there's 3 brothers, and this is Chase's story, and I really want her to do the books for the other 2. So I'm hoping that she will write them at some point. But yep, that's the other book that I read this month. So that's all the books I read this month. But my book of the month, my favourite book that I read, I don't think anyone will be surprised by, was Onyx by Jennifer L. Armentrout, because I've been waiting for it for ages. I read Obsidian in October last year when I got that for review, and I've been waiting for Onyx, and it definitely lived up to Obsidian. It was even better, and I just loved it. So anyone who hasn't read this series, you have to go out and read it right now. If you have read this series and you are a fan of it, you'll know that the Daemon invasion is going on right now, and there's a giveaway on my blog. I'll post the link below for that, and you'll just win lots of swag and stuff. We've got like some necklaces and some bracelets and stuff associated with the series. So Onyx is my book of the month, and I hope I can read as many books next month, but I don't think I will, because I have my exams coming up. But I got quite a lot read, so I'm really glad that I read quite a lot. I'm currently reading The Immortal Rules by Julie Kagawa. It's pretty slow going right now, and it's took me a while to get through, but it's starting to pick up the pace. So I have the blog tour for this at the beginning of May, so I really need to read it. It's really good. It's just a bit slow paced, but I'm hoping that now it seems like it's picking up, that it's going to get much better. So I'll be finishing that. I'm probably going to be rereading The Morganville Vampires. I'm hoping to reread them this month, but I am taking part in Siobhan at Totally Bookalicious. She's doing NetGalley month, and I have so many NetGalley books that I really, if you look on my Kindle, my folder, I have NetGalley, and I have like 18 books, and I think there's still some to come through from NetGalley that got accepted this morning. So I'm hoping to get a bulk of those read during NetGalley month with Siobhan. So most of them might just be on my Kindle to show next month. But that's it. That's all I read this month. So thanks for watching. Bye.